Welcome to the Mia Noi Trading Company's YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. In this video, we visit the Flying Leatherneck Museum at the U.S. Marine Corps Air Station, Miramar. This day marked the last day the museum would be open. Budgetary constraints had led to the decision to close the museum. In this virtual tour, we will visit some of the aircraft that were on display. We start with the MacDonald Banshee. This is a single-seat, carrier-based jet fighter. It was flown by the U.S. Marine Corps in between 1948 and 1961. It was the primary fighter used during the Korean War. Due to its good performance at altitude, it initially proved its worth as an escort for long-range bomber formations. As the war progressed, U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps fighters were primarily assigned to ground attack missions, including close air support and attacking supply lines. The Bell HTLsu. This helicopter was made famous by the television series MASH. The Model 47 first flew in 1946 and was granted the first ever U.S. commercial helicopter license in 1947. It remained in production for nearly 30 years. Military versions saw extensive service in both Korea and Vietnam. The unique feature of all Bell helicopters was a two-bladed rotor and stabilizer system that reduced flying weight without harming performance. Another unique feature was the plexiglass cabin canopy that resembles a goldfish bowl. Detailed specifications for all of the aircraft can be found at the museum's website, flyingleathernecks.org. And if you have not already done so, please like and subscribe to this channel. The AH1 Cobra was developed using the rotor, transmission, and engine from the Huey. The Cobra features tandem seating to give both pilot and gunner nearly unlimited visibility. Both crew stations have flight control and fire control systems permitting flexibility in division of functions under normal and emergency situations. The Sea Cobra was developed for the United States Marine Corps as a twin-engine variant of the single-engine Cobra with the desire for improved safety and redundancy for overwater operation. The Pratt & Whitney twin-pack T400 engine gave an overall increase in performance and reliability. The J model also included a more powerful gun with the 3-barrel XM197 20mm cannon, as well as other improvements. First flown in August 1964, the SkyKnight was a mainstay of marine aviation combat support for 51 years. The CH46 made its last flight on August 1, 2015, and was replaced by the Osprey. The CH46 was a twin-engine, tandem three-bladed folding rotor design powered by General Electric T58 turboshaft engines. The engines were mounted in the tail and utilized a drive shaft to power the forward rotor. The engines were coupled in order to ensure that either could power the helicopter in an engine-out scenario. On the ground, the CH46 sat nose-high, making the rear cargo ramp more accessible. The SkyRay was the last fighter produced by the Douglas Aircraft Company before it merged with MacDonnell Aircraft and became McDonnell Douglas. The Ed Heinemann designed SkyRay was a wide delta wing design with long, sharply swept, rounded wings based on the designs and research of the German aerodynamicist Alexander Lippisch. The design was named for its resemblance to the manta ray. The thick wing roots contained the air intakes feeding a single turbojet engine. Fuel was contained both in the wings and the deep fuselage. Leading edge slats were fitted for increased lift during takeoff and landing, while the trailing edges were mostly aileron control surfaces. Additional pitch trimmers were fitted inboard near the jet exhaust, and were locked upwards on takeoff and landing. The SkyKnight was built around 3 separate radars. The search and tracking radars located in the nose plus a tail warning radar in the aft fuselage. The size of these early vacuum tube radars dictated the SkyKnight's wide, deep fuselage, side-by-side crew seating arrangement, and the location of the engines in pods located on the outside of the lower fuselage. The search radar was surprisingly effective for the early 1950s, able to pick up bomber-sized targets at 20 miles and fighter-sized targets at 15. The tracking radar could lock on at 4,000 yards and guide the SkyKnight all the way into firing position. The tail warning radar could detect attacking aircraft as far as 4 miles away, giving the SkyKnight crew ample time to react. The Grumman Avenger is an American torpedo bomber developed for the United States Navy and Marine Corps. The Avenger entered U.S. service in 1942 and first saw action during the Battle of Midway. Grumman began to slowly phase out production of the Avenger to produce F-6F Hellcat fighters. For more detailed information and history on this aircraft and all the others featured at the museum, please visit flyingleathernecks.org. The link is in the description. The FM2 seen here is one in the line of production models of the better-known F4F Wildcat. This was one of the first successful monoplanes designed for carrier use. First used in combat by the British in the North Atlantic, the Wildcat was the only effective fighter available to the United States Navy and Marine Corps in the Pacific Theater during the early part of World War II in 1941 and 1942. We hope that you are enjoying sharing our aviation experiences. If you have not already done so, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas, please put them in the comments section below. The AV8B Harrier II is the United States military's only short takeoff, vertical landing jet aircraft in current inventory. Originally flown in the late 1960s, the Harrier has undergone a series of improvements that have increased safety, range, and lethality. The AV8B is a key component of the Marine Corps all-short takeoff, vertical landing force concept, allowing Marines to be supported in austere conditions in expeditionary environments. 22,000 pounds of thrust enable the Harrier II to hover like a helicopter, and then blast forward like a jet at near supersonic speeds. Like every aircraft in the Marine fleet, this aircraft is used for multiple missions, which include attacking and destroying surface and air targets, escorting helicopters, engaging in air-to-air defense, providing reconnaissance, and applying offensive and defensive support with its arsenal of missiles, bombs, and an onboard 25mm cannon. Offering the versatility to conduct almost any mission, the Harrier II provides the ideal blend of firepower and mobility to effectively counter enemies engaged by our ground forces. The McDonnell Douglas F-18 Hornet is a twin-engine supersonic, all-weather carrier-capable multi-role combat jet. It is designed to dogfight and attack ground targets. Designed by McDonnell Douglas and Northrop, the F-18 was derived from the latter's YF-17s in the 1970s for use by the United States Navy and Marine Corps. The Hornet is also used by the air forces of several other nations. The United States Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, has used the Hornet since 1986. The Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-15 is a jet fighter aircraft developed by Mikoyan Gurevich for the Soviet Union. The MiG-15 was one of the first successful jet fighters to incorporate swept wings to achieve high transonic speeds. In combat over Korea, it outclassed straight-winged jet day fighters, which were largely relegated to ground attack roles, and quickly countered the similar American swept-wing North American F-86 Sabre. Please note that Mianoi Trading Company has its own website, mianoitrading.com. We are also on Instagram and Facebook. Just look for Mianoi Trading. Please look us up. The Bronco was designed specifically for counterinsurgency campaigns, making it ideal for fighting conditions in Vietnam. The Air Force and Marines used it for armed reconnaissance, helicopter escort, light close air support, forward air control, casualty evacuation, and paratrooper missions. It was the embodiment of versatility, and bridges the gap between helicopters and jets. Like a helicopter, it could perform multiple missions in remote areas. It could carry a wide variety of weapons and equipment, and was designed to be able to operate from anywhere. Unlike jets, its jointed landing gear allowed it to make short takeoffs and landings on rough and soft ground. It was faster than a helicopter and more maneuverable than a jet. It was also easier to maintain. If necessary, it could function on automotive fuel, which was more readily available. Repairs could be made with ordinary hand tools. The Panther was one of the Navy's first successful carrier-based jet fighters. While its contemporaries, like the Banshee, made significant contributions to the Korean War effort, they did not have nearly the same record as the Panther. It was the Navy's and Marines' most widely used jet, flying over 78,000 sorties during the Korean War. It was highly maneuverable and relatively fast, and had considerable success against its superior adversary, the MiG-15. Grumman's cautious nature in new technologies meant it was the last aircraft manufacturer to enter the jet age. They selected the British Rolls-Royce Nene centrifugal flow turbojet engine to power the F9F. The Nene was also the basis for the MiG-15's Clearmorph VK1 turbojet. Note the similar shape of the rear fuselage for these two aircraft. The Sikorsky Seahorse. Beginning in 1962, the H-30-4 served as the primary Marine Corps assault helicopter of the Vietnam War until its replacement by the turbine-powered CH46. It began service in 1952 as a Navy anti-submarine warfare helicopter evolved from the Sikorsky S-55 series. Initially designated as the HSS-1, it went on to see significant service in the combat assault and utility roles with the Army and Marine Corps. So that is a good selection of the aircraft that were on display. More information can be obtained from the museum's website, flyingleathernecks.org. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. And remember, we can also be seen at mianoitrading.com. Fly safe, my friends.